Okay, here we are at the SAT5 SAT Math Calculator program for the TI84 Plus calculator. If you have Plus or Plus CE, that'll work. So here we are. We're going to go over the second half of Test 1 from College Board. You could probably download it in the link or the comments below. And then, so we're going to just show what the calculator program can do and a little bit of common math sense. So sometimes there'll be things that's like, okay, this is kind of easy to do freehand once you get used to it. So without any further ado, let's get started. So the first question, question 3, solution to the given system of equations is x comma y. What's the value of y? So what we're going to do, let me just show you for those unfamiliar. It's going to be 3x plus 0y equals 12. I know that's kind of funky. You're like, there's no y. So in that case, what we're going to do is we're going to put a 0 in front of that y. That's the coefficient. And then for the second equation, that is going to be negative 3x plus y equals negative 6. And one other thing I want to point out is if see how we have a y, this green y, if we don't have a coefficient, we assume it's 1. So I'm going to put a 1 there. And so these are going to be key here. This is going to be the coefficient. That's the coefficient. And then that's the number. So it's like, let me just explain what that is. Algebra equations, system of two equations. So this ax plus by equals c. We're asking for the coefficients here of the x and the y, and then the number here on the right-hand side. So the a is 3, that's the coefficient of the x. The coefficient of the y is 0 because we don't have a y. And then c is just going to be 12. That's the constant on the right-hand side. Now for this second equation, the negative 3x plus y equals negative 6, I'll circle those coefficients. It's negative 3. Since we didn't have anything in front of the y, we assume it's a 1. And then this would be negative 6 for that f value there. So we're going to put negative 3. And be careful on the calculator here. It's the negative sign. It's below the 3. So negative 3 for the d. And then the e is going to be 1. And then that y is going to be, the f is going to be negative 6. Sorry about that. That is my mistake entirely. Okay, I'm shifting things around here on my desktop. So the answer is 4, 6. So the x is 4, the y is 6. We're going to go with 6. Yay. Okay, good, good, good. Okay, now question 4. The equation gives a speed s in miles per hour of a certain car t seconds after it begins to accelerate. What is the speed in miles per hour of the car 5 seconds? So, 5 seconds. So let me explain that to you. That's going to say, 5 seconds. That's the t value. So basically, it's going to be substituting that 5 in there. Now you can do it by hand, which is totally fine, and you're totally going to be able to do it quickly if you're used to it. Otherwise, we're going to go to algebra equations, and we're going to plug in a value. And by linear equations, all I mean is we're not having a t squared, t cubed, or square root of t, anything like that. It's just a regular t or regular x, something like that. So the equation is going to be 40 plus 3. And then we have to put this key here. I call it the x, t, theta, n, or the variable key. We're going to do that. And then, what's the x value? I know it's the t value. Bear with me. We're going to say it's 5. Okay, so get 55 is our answer. Yay, we answered that question. Awesome, awesome. Okay, we keep rocking and rolling. Okay, this one, number 5. Okay, we can do. Okay, even if you didn't know the, what do you call it? The Pythagorean theorem. I was going to say system of equations. My brain is elsewhere. Okay, now, if A is 4 and B is 5. So let me talk to you about a few things. This is a right triangle, by the way. So we're going to go to Triangle Solver, right triangle. And then what represents the value of C? The C, just so you know, the long side of C is hypotenuse. And Key and Peele made a joke about that. Gosh, 10 years ago, probably before you were born, maybe. That's hypotenuse. So that just means the long side. And one of my students she hated math, but man, she was good at figuring math stuff out. She should have been a math teacher. So you see this right angle here, this like little square thing. It's like, if you shoot an arrow here, it'll always hit the hypotenuse. So we're trying to find the hypotenuse. So what we're going to do is the leg. So what is A? A is 4, and then B is 5. Now here's the thing. It gives us 6, so the answer is 6.403, right? And we can do process elimination. So I'm saying we can't answer directly through the calculator, but use your common sense. Because even if you had to use a calculator, 4 plus 5, dude, that's 9. And then I'll just show you. So I'm going to quit this, and we're going to do, what is the square root of 4 times 5? So that's square root of 4 times 5. That's 4.4. Okay, another wrong answer. And then let's say we did this square root of 4 plus 5. What's that? That's 3. That's also wrong. So it actually becomes this because, and let me just show you for those who are doubting Thomases, which is cool. 4 squared plus 5 squared. 6.403. So there's a way to do it if you're unfamiliar with right triangle stuff. So we're going to go back to programs. I hate that it goes to this Python thing. Okay. SAT5D. Okay, I got to post this on the site because I think I only have up to C. What's the solution to the given equation? Guess what? Algebra equations, baby. We're going to solve it. Solve equation. Okay. Now, you have to set up a left side and a right side. So what's going to happen is it's the left side and right side of this equal sign. I'm putting a line there that's green. So the left side is going to be the 4x plus 5. And the right side is 165. There we go. So x is 40. So there's our solution. Yay, we got that one done. Okay. Question 7. So this is more a common sense thing. And if you don't know it, don't think you don't have common sense. It's just like a math thing that helps. A little trick. The x-intercept. Okay, so this is the x-axis right here. It's this line. I'm going to highlight it for us. It's this line here. So what is the x-intercept? What's the value of x? Well, they're saying, hey, what is this point right here? I'll do it in blue. So, that's 7 because it's between 6 and 8. So it's 7. So you don't really need to use a calculator for this. You just need to know, x-intercept. That means either what crosses or touches this x-axis. It's labeled right here. Okay. Then we go on to 8. The function f is defined by f of x equals 1 over 10 x minus 2. What's the y-intercept of the graph of y equals f of x in the xy plane? So being all fancy, it's a linear equation because it's only to the first power. It's just x, not x squared or anything. So linear equation. And then what are we given? That slope-intercept form. Just so for those unfamiliar, it's y equals mx plus b. That's the form. And I'll highlight things just so you see. The b is going to be the -2. And then the m, the coefficient in front of the x, means the number in front of the x is 1 over 10. So what we're going to do is solve it using slope-intercept. So, what is the slope? It's 1 divided by 10. And remember, a fraction here, 1 over 10, it's really an unfinished division problem. Okay, that's one way of looking at it. And the b, you want to be careful with the b here. It's -2 because they're saying, plus what? Plus -2. Okay, you just got to be fancy about that. So, what is the y-intercept? Well, check it out. I got the y-intercept. It's 0, -2. Man, this program's awesome. Available at mcstutoring.com. Okay, we go on. It's just slightly more than the cost of registering for an SAT right now. Which ordered pair x, y is a solution to the given system of equations? So what's going to happen here is we're not going to do system of equations, even though that's what it says it is. We're going to solve this first. So step A is going to be, hey, let's solve this equation. That's an algebra equation. And then we're going to solve it. And we're going to say, the left side. And remember, we're going to say left side, right side. So left side of the equal sign, right side of the equal sign. Left side is x plus 7. Right side's 10. Yay, x equals 3. So we have x equals 3. That's the first part of this. Now the next thing is, we're going to plug it into this. So basically, you can do this, by the way. You can flip everything around there in that equation. And then we're going to go to algebra equations again, and we're going to plug in a value. So what does y equal? Okay, cool. X plus 7, quantity squared. Now you can do this thing. I know it's an x squared, but it means whatever thing you just did, that thing squared. And x, what is x? Guess what? It's 3. We solved that part. Okay, so 100. So that means going back to this, it's like, okay, x is 3, and then y equals 100. So as an ordered pair, that's what this is. When you see, usually two values separated by a comma within parentheses, that's usually an ordered pair. Not always, because it could be a set. But this is an ordered pair, 3, 100. So that's going to be the answer for 10. Okay, 11. We can't do that in the calculator. Bummer. Okay. Now the function p is defined by p of n equals 7n cubed. You could say 7n to the third, a lot of different ways to say that. What is the value of n when p of n equals to 56? So if p of n is equal to 56, that means this thing's 56. So basically 56 substituting here equals 7n cubed. So we're going to do algebra equations again, and then solve an equation. And I know it gives you these warnings like don't do quadratics or, whatever. But guess what? Sometimes I got to break the rules. Okay, so what's the left side? Left side is 56. Right side, 7. And again, it says n here, but really it's an x. X raised to this caret symbol above the division symbol. That's how you raise something to a power. Raise to the third. And then, okay, cool. X equals 2. Well, n equals 2. I know, gosh. My algebra teacher, he would have dinged me for that. He still returns to me in my nightmares. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to go to stats for this thing, for question number 14. So we're doing percent stats right there. And it's a statistic thing. So usually when we get data values, like, list of values, tell me the mean, median, range, blah, blah, blah. That's a stats question. So first, the number of questions in the list, 10. So we're going to do 10 data values in the list. So enter the terms. That's 6 is the first term, 8 is the second, 16 is the third, 4 is the fourth, 17. And you want to be careful when you enter this data because it's easy. I've just made so many mistakes. That's what I'm saying. It is easy to make a mistake because guess what? I have made mistakes doing this. Okay. There we go. So, we wanted the mean. Okay, that's 10. Yay, good. Calculator program, SAT Math, helping you with the SAT. So it's cool because I think I answered 18 out of 27 questions in the first part. I think I'm answering like 15 or 16 on the second part out of 27. So altogether, it's like 60%, 60 something percent in the SAT, which, in math, you're like, oh, that's terrible, 60 something percent. Like in the SAT, you're like, hey, guess what? I'll put a calculation at the end showing you what that would be. I think it's easily, it's got to be over 500. Okay, enough of that. Number 16. What's the minimum value of the given function? Now it's a squared. Okay, so when we have like an x squared, technically that's called a quadratic. I know you're thinking, why shouldn't it be called a biadic or something because the 2? I don't even know how they came up with that term, but they call it quadratic. So what we're going to do is solve. Wait. We want to do a max or min. Sorry, solve intercept of max min because we're trying to find the minimum value of this guy. Sorry, I almost went to the wrong thing. So what are the coefficients? Okay, so when we do, and I should probably write this, ax squared plus bx plus c. I need to write that as, okay, I'm going to make an addition to that on the program so it shows that because not everybody knows ax squared plus bx plus c. So if I rewrite this, x squared plus 55, really it's 1x squared. Remember that. If we don't have a number in front, we assume it's 1. There's no x value, so that's going to be 0x plus 55. So entering the coefficients, again, those are the numbers in front of the variables with a constant. It's 1, 0, 55. So 1 for A, 0 for B, 55 for C. And then minimum value, y equals 55. Ha, 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 ha. Calculator program saves the day. Okay, 17 I don't have. Now this one, man, I made this program specifically for this. This is a exponential growth thing. It really should just be called growth. But we're going to go percent to multiplier. So 7%, it's 1.07. So we're just trying to find the multiplier, and that's 1.07. Everybody's cool. Boom. Here's a lapse 1.07. Okay, good. It can do a few things. I don't want to get too deep into it. Let's go to 20. Okay, so this, not directly by the calculator. The calculator is going to do it indirectly. So when we talk about cost of things, it's usually like y equals mx. Oops, doesn't look like an x, plus b. So this, let me explain these things. This is, and I'll erase this guy too. Let me just go. The m, that's usually called like what they call a variable cost. Like if you take a taxi, I know those are kind of passé, but like per mile, the cost per mile. And then there's also oftentimes a setup cost, like a one-time fee. So technically they call it a fixed cost, depending on what math level you're in. So what's going to happen if we put our equation like this or set it up? We're saying, oh, it costs the event planner one-time fee of 35. That's the plus 35, because that's just one time. Plus 10.25 per attendee. So that's 10.25x. Okay. What's the greatest number of attendees possible without exceeding the budget? So, the budget's 200. That's the y value. So we're saying 200 equals 10.25x plus 35. So it's important to be able to set it up. And if this is beyond your level right now, that's cool. You can focus on getting the other questions right. That's fine. Okay. So we're going to go to algebra equations, right? And then we're going to solve an equation. So what's the left side? Left side's 200. And again, we're going to do left side, right side. So let me, I'll go orange here. The left side's the 200. And then the right side is 10.25 x plus 35. There we go. Bam, 16. Okay, now check this out. Important thing here. We can't invite a 0.097 person. I don't want to get into like really weird things here. You can invite an integer number of people. It's like 16 people or 17 people. So we can invite 16 people without exceeding the budget. Okay. Flame me in the comments if you think you can invite 0.097 of a person. That's such a weird concept. Okay, so 21, absolute value. Algebra equations, absolute value, solve absolute value. So what happens here is we have absolute value of 4x minus 4 equals 112. So to get to this, we're going to solve this first, find out what x is. So the A part is find x. Part B, find x minus 1. Okay, so for this, I'm going to underline the first thing I'm going to do is that absolute value of 4x minus 4. So to get absolute value here, it's not too bad. You're going to press Math, scroll to the right for number, and then ABS, absolute value. So that ABS, I know you're used to seeing these bars, but ABS on the calculator, that's how we set up absolute value. So it's going to be 4x minus 4. Make sure you close that. So that's absolute value of 4x minus 4 on the left side. Right side is that 112. Again, left side, right side thing. Left side of the equal sign, right side of the equal sign. Okay. We get 29 negative 27. So here we found x. X is 29. Now, I'm pretty sure most people taking the SAT were like, hey, I could subtract 1 from that and I'll get 28. So they're just trying a little head fake because, look, when I was your age, I'd always solve for x. And like, why is it wrong? Because, dude, it's asking for x minus 1. That's, tricky. They're doing the head fake. Don't fall for it. Okay, so for this question here, what is the diameter of the circle in the xy plane with the equation x minus 5 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals 16? So for those unfamiliar with circles, I'm going to go to the circle menu. And now I have a circle help. I just added this. I'm not kidding, like just an hour ago. So it has this form, right? X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, where h comma k is the center, r is radius. Okay. Okay, so we've got r squared equals 16. Well, guess what? You can take the square root of that using your calculator. So you can take square root, we get r equals 4. Diameter, what's the diameter? It's 2r. So 2 times all this, I know I'm not doing that correctly, but 2r equals 8. There you go. Last question of the test that the calculator can help you with. So I want to show you, this is the raw score conversion table for SAT Practice Test 1. So look, we had 18 questions on the first half of the math test, 14 on the second. So we got a 32. And this goes an upper and lower estimate, so lower and upper. So we're like, let's just say 510 conservatively. So 510, just using, man, I can't even write 510. 510 conservatively using the SAT math calculator program from MCS Tutoring. And then look right here. if you were to guess on the remaining, I think like 22 questions, you'd probably get at least 4 right. A conservative estimate, because some of them are, multiple choice. So you're somewhere like mid to high 5s on the math. Not knowing all that much math, but definitely following all the videos here to see how to use the calculator on the SAT practice test. So good luck on your next SAT, and subscribe if you want to see more.